Hey, what's happening gamers? It is the Honest Gamer here, and today I'm bringing you guys a preview of the upcoming hack and slash role-playing game from Blizzard Entertainment, the eagerly awaited Diablo 3. It's been 12 long years since the release of Diablo 2, with Blizzard having concentrated more on its World of Warcraft and StarCraft franchises. However, the game is now slated for an anticipated release date sometime during the second quarter of 2012. The game has definitely brought with it a huge amount of hype, as older fans of the series, myself included, desperately begin to scramble for any decent trailers, gameplay footage and rumours about what we can hope to expect. So sit back, put your feet up and check out my preview of Diablo 3. Enjoy. The storyline is once again set in the fantasy world of Sanctuary, the world in which you saved 20 years ago during the main storyline of Diablo 2. However, the unnamed heroes who managed to survive the onslaught of the armies of the Burning Hells have sadly gone mad living with what they had to endure. So now it is up to a new generation of heroes to take up the mantle of Protector and defend against the evil forces attempting to destroy Sanctuary. With the world having been massively changed by the events during Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, when the World Stone was destroyed, it caused the world to be reshaped, and the main story will focus around two lesser evil beings, Asmodin and Belial, as well as an artifact known as the Black Soulstone. Development initially began back in 2001, when Blizzard North was still in operation, and the artistic style behind the game's design has actually been changed 3 times by the team wishing to reach a certain standard. The game is planned for a release on both Microsoft Windows and also on the Mac. And sadly for players with internet troubles, it will require that you have access to a consistent internet connection to play even during the single player campaign. The lead designer behind the game is Jay Wilson, a former Relic Entertainment designer credited with working on games such as Company of Heroes. The map of Diablo 3 has been designed by Leonard Boyarsky, former freelancer for Interplay Entertainment, who went on to create his own company with 2 others called Troika Games. However, this wasn't a success and sadly closed down in early 2005. Leonard was then later asked to work as the leading world designer by Blizzard Entertainment, which he accepted. The world itself will consist of 2 main continents with smaller islands in the northwestern region of the map. Moving on, the game has been designed to run on a wide array of systems, and will not require DirectX 10 to run. Diablo 3 will boost a 3D game engine, which will allow for destructible environments as well as enemies who will use the 3D environment, for example crawling along the side of walls to enter combat. Multiplayer will be using Blizzard's Battle.net service, and in a similar way will allow players, just as they can in StarCraft 2, to jump in and out of cooperative play with friends seamlessly. There are 5 playable classes in Diablo 3. The first, the Witch Doctor, is similar to Diablo 2's Necromancer. This class will be summoning monsters, throwing poisons and explosives, and can even harvest souls and cast curses. Next up is the Barbarian. With a strong physical prowess, the character will be able to whirlwind through crowds, cleave through enemies and crush opponents upon landing on them. In at third place is the Wizard. Much like the Sorceress from Diablo 2, the class will be shooting ice, fire and lightning at targets, and also will be able to slow time and teleport past enemies and through walls. In at 4 is the Monk, a melee class using martial arts. He will be resistant to damage and use powerful attacks at blinding speeds. Lastly, we have the Demon Hunter, who will be using a crossbow as a main weapon and be utilising small bombs. However, most of the skills will be revolving around the use of the crossbow. So what is there to be excited about? Well, for starters, for all those item loving people out there will be 3 new sets available to grab. These are shoulder plates, arm guards and leggings. Health will also now be dealt with in a different manner, with you picking up health orbs from downed enemies instead of nabbing potions to place on a quick bar, with the old potion bar being replaced with a skill one, so players can assign skills to their keys to make for faster combat. Skill runes are a new feature to the game. These will be dropped randomly by enemies in the field and can be used by all classes. The idea behind them will be giving you the ability to enhance a particular spell, such as improving lightning to strike its intended target and then jump to additional foes, or adding runes with explosive effects to damage the enemy and the surrounding area. So with the skill point system now gone from Diablo 3, the general feedback is that these skill runes are allowing for a great amount of customization. Returning will be the hardcore mode last seen in Diablo 2. Available for use after completing the main game, it will allow players to start the game again, with your character being unable to be resurrected and permanently unplayable if killed. The next thing to be excited about will be the non-playing character called Artisans, who will sell, craft and enhance your equipment. Artisans will be able to assist the player, creating items for them from what you have gathered by scrapping items and reducing them to their component parts. This will no doubt give players hours of fun customizing their equipment. Next up are the followers, who are non-playing character allies able to accompany the player across the world. Those who will follow you are the Templar, Scoundrel and the Enchantress. It has been announced that they can also be used during later difficulty levels. One of the last additions you'll be psyched about will be the auction house, of which there are 2 available. One of which you'll be able to buy items with your in-game gold, and another, you guessed it, is where you'll be able to use your real hard-earned cash to buy new items. The only downside to the auction house is currently if you live in Korea, the government are pretty strict on their anti-gambling laws and you won't be able to have access to it. Lastly of note is player versus player combat, allowing your character equipped with all your skills and gear from the single player game or co-op game to play against others in arenas, playing both ranked matches and unranked matches to earn titles and other rewards based on the amount of kills you get and completed objectives. Rumours regarding the game have been few and far between lately. The latest rumour to actually be substantiated is the new Inferno difficulty mode, above the Nightmare and Hell modes. This will be for players who have reached the level cap of 60 and the minimum enemies will be level 61. And according to developers, it's going to be the hardest encounters players have faced in the world of Sanctuary. Now for my honest segment. When I first looked at pictures and early videos of the game, I was highly disappointed in the effects and graphics. However, after having compiled this video, I have had a lot more time to look at the game, and have actually been impressed overall. I think whilst the beta has still got some level of negative feedback, I'm hoping that this will all be fixed before the release date. However, it doesn't help the situation when developers log onto forums to tell people to lower their expectations of the game. All that aside, there's a lot of buzz now surrounding Diablo 3, and hopefully it will be everything long-time fans have been looking for and much more. Well gamers, for now that's all from me. If you're after more honest game previews, reviews, history of gaming shows and much more, then be sure to subscribe to the Honest Gamer channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Facebook to see what shows coming out next. And as always, it is the Honest Gamer here, and happy gaming.